Hey guys and ghouls, welcome back to the Cozy Ghost. I'm your host October, and welcome to my review of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. Now, I finally watched the movie. I watched it yesterday, and let me just start out the video by saying I had a great fucking time watching it. I went with my dad, who I forced to watch the first movie, but he has absolutely no knowledge of any of the games, any of the lore, besides the little tidbits that I've told him, and he also had a pretty great time. So, before I just start, I just want to say that the movie isn't horrible. Like, it's really fun to watch. Like, I'm gonna get into my favorite parts and my least favorite parts, the things that I think could be worked on for the next movie, and the things that I think that were improved upon from the first movie. Um, but I just want to say that I love Five Nights at Freddy's so much. So, the fact that we got a movie at all, the fact that we have a sequel, and the fact that we're gonna get a third one is just really, really fucking cool. Like, it's so awesome. Like, it's dope. It is so, so cool. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. Now, I will be talking about things that are spoiler worthy, so if you have yet to see the film and you don't want spoilers, please click away from this video and maybe watch it after you've seen the film to see whether or not you agree with me. You might not. These might be some hot takes, or maybe they're ice cold takes. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it. So there were a lot of things in this film that were very different from the original. This film, to start, was a lot scarier than the first one, and I say thank fucking goodness. My dad kept leaning over to me and go, "This is fucking creepy as hell." And I kept looking over and going, "Good, this should be creepy as hell." Specifically the puppet. So if you haven't seen the film, the main antagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie, is the puppet, Marionette, Charlotte. And yes, it is Charlotte. Like, that is what is happening in the film as well. The film has an interesting combination of book lore and game lore, so I've heard. I haven't read the books yet. Maybe that's my next mission. But it was an interesting choice to make the puppet the villain, and I don't know if it would have been my choice, just because it seems so vastly different from the game, where the puppet is not really a villain, except for, like, against the night guard, I guess, but, like, the puppet being a threat is not something that I was expecting. I mean, it was enjoyable. I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy it, because the scares were really good, in my opinion. The just creep factor that they had with the puppet in the background, the hands slithering, like the little... I actually really liked the mini puppets in the water ride, because that reminded me so much of Five Nights at Freddy's VR, specifically with the little baby plushies. That was, like, beautiful. I loved that so much. And it reminded me of the marionettes in Ballora's, like... Oh, what is it? In Sister Location's Custom Night, you get the little ballerinas that, like, just kind of hold on to you. That's what it reminded me of as well. So that was very cool. I actually thought they did a very good job with Puppet as the villain. I just don't think Puppet should have been the villain. I think it was well done. I just would have preferred a different villain. Let me look at some of the things that the dialogue in some places was definitely not great. There were a couple of times where I was just like, that's not how people talk. But it wasn't huge. The dialogue was a little bit worse in this movie than it was in the first film. I didn't have any big moments where I went, oh, the dialogue in the first movie. I did have a couple of those in this film. And when they were marketing this movie, they were talking about how they have all of these great actors. They're like, we have Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, and they're going to be there, and it's going to be Henry Emily and William Afton. Whoa! And also we're going to have Toy Bonnie is going to be voiced by Matt Pat. Kellen Goff is voicing Freddy. Mwah, I love Kellen Goff. He's great. And Toy Chica is going to be voiced by Megan Fox. And actually, before I get anything else said, Megan Fox, Matt Pat, and Kellen Goff ate as those voices. They killed it. Like, Megan Fox was a perfect Chica. Perfect Toy Chica. Matt Pet actually did a really good Toy Bonnie, and I was like, that's pretty fucking dope. And then, of course, Kellen Goff is always Freddy and was so good. Even though that's not personally how I imagine Toy Freddy's voice, especially because Freddy's voice sounds like that. Toy Freddy's, like, not as deep, but I still love Kellen Goff, and I thought that was great. So that was really cool. But they have all these awesome actors and voice actors working on the film, and they really didn't get much screen time. I was really confused as to why Matthew Lillard didn't get as much screen time, especially if we're delving into the backstory. Like, that was a little frustrating. Like, we get the occasional flashback with Vanessa and the one dream sequence, and I was like, are you serious? With the number of times we went through the Garrett dream sequence in the first film, we couldn't have gone through that dream sequence with Vanessa more than once. Also, the dream sequence with Vanessa was fucking all over the place. I had no idea what was happening. I was like, okay, she's a child, yes. She's an adult again, okay. Why is she suddenly in her cop uniform? Like, is this something that happened? Is she just, like, because we know that she doesn't have to be in the cop uniform to have her gun. She has her gun at the spin place. Like, I didn't understand why she was in the uniform, and I also, the fall, when Matthew Lillard falls, that was, the editing right there was not my favorite. But Matthew Lillard and Elizabeth Lail gave a phenomenal performance, so I have no complaints on anyone's, like, acting performance. Everyone was great. But yeah, certain aspects, I was like, oh, okay. So you have Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich in the same fucking film, and you don't have any you don't have them interact. You don't have any indication that their characters know each other. Like, we get that after credits, like, little voice thing, which is great. I actually did enjoy that. Like, nothing else. That was a little bit disappointing, I'll be honest. I definitely wanted more Matthew Lillard. I wanted more Skeet Ulrich. Like, come on, guys. You have all of these phenomenal actors, and you're not using them. It's very upsetting. I have a list, so if I keep looking down, that's why. The animatronics! They spent so much time talking about how great these toy animatronics were, how they were going to have the Wizards, like, be from the original animatronic. Like, they were talking about it, and the Withered animatronics looked great, the toy animatronics looked great, and they barely have any screen time. Which was really frustrating. Like, Mangle doesn't get nearly as much screen time as Mangle should have, because Mangle's a great fucking character. But also, the Withered animatronics got like a minute-long segment. That wasn't enough for me. Like, really? You withered the animatronics? You made them look super cool, and you just are showing me them for like a minute? That was really frustrating. That being said, I actually did really like the scene where Mike was in the office and was having to put on the mask and do something on the computer, while all of the animatronics were showing up. I actually really enjoyed that. I thought that was cool. I thought Mike was fucking stupid for not, like, keeping the fucking mask on while he was typing and for being like, oh my god, they're gonna kill me! Better go type! Like, what the fuck? A lot of what Mike did in this film felt really stupid to me personally, and I spent a lot of the film going, why is he being useless? Like, so there's a part of the film where Abby runs off to the original pizzeria, the one where the puppet was killed and everything, and she draws pictures of it. Okay, for real, she shows Mike, and Mike has, like, no reaction. And when Vanessa's like, hey, we need to talk, he's like, I just want to move on. And I'm like, okay, but clearly you don't, because you're going to talk to Charlotte's father. Like, what do you mean? Like, you clearly do not want to move on. You just don't want to talk to the one person who actually knows what's happening because she's taking time to process her trauma. Like, seriously? Are you shitting me right now? Mike was like, no, I'm not worried about it. We're just trying to move on. I'm like, you're not, though. You're not trying to move on. You just don't want her to talk about it, which I thought was such bullshit. Mike was pissing me off the whole film. He really was fulfilling the absent parent stereotype that Charlotte was trying to prove. Because he literally, if he had actually been with Abby at the science fair, none of that shit would have happened. He couldn't have waited the day. Like, he couldn't. The fact that he decided he couldn't wait until the next day to go to Charlotte Henry Emily's house pissed me off. Like, I'm sorry. Your sister, who already has attachment issues because both her parents are fucking dead, her brother is dead, you're half dead all the time. Like, she wants you to be at the science fair with her. It's not that hard to go in with her and help her set up and everything. But you decide that that is the day you have to go and talk to Henry Emily? Seriously? Mike did a lot of stuff in the movie that was really stupid and really pissed me off. So that was really frustrating. Because as naive as he is in the first film, and as much of a hothead as he is in the first film, he actually, listens to Abby when she's like, hey, they're talking to me. And he actually goes, hey, you know what? There are ghosts here. Let's leave. His character just was so frustrating in this film. And the ending also, actually no, I'll talk about the ending later because that's its whole own can of worms. I talked a little bit about this earlier, but I wanted more Henry Emily. I feel like we did not get nearly enough of him. We should just, there should have been more of him. I think it would have been more interesting if he had been the one to show up at the end of the movie instead of Mike's friend. I thought that would have been way more interesting. Especially if he himself had gone to be like, hey, wait, if you're freaking out because your daughter did something, not your daughter, like Abby, your sister is at that restaurant where my daughter is, then yeah, I'm gonna come with you because I don't want your daughter, your sister to face the same thing that my daughter faced. I don't know why he didn't go with them. That felt really stupid. Especially if he cares so much about this. If he cares so much about FazFest, if he cares so much about the music box, why didn't he go himself? Why didn't he go with Mike? That just felt silly to me. Whatever. A couple things that I liked, so that I'm not shitting on it the whole time, because I swear I did like the movie, and I will be buying it on DVD and on streaming when I get it. I really liked the taxi callback with Corey Kenshin. That was really funny. When Toy Chica gets in the cab and her beak is off, I thought that was really, really great. That was a really cool callback to the first film. Loved it. I loved it when we got Doug back. Doug, our lovely lawyer. That was such a fun moment. I really loved that. I definitely want more callbacks like that in the next movie and the next couple of movies if we're lucky. Because that was really cool. I kind of liked how the plot twist is that their aunt isn't dead. Because you see her after Golden Freddy pops up in the first film, and you're like, oh, she is for sure dead. I really liked that she wasn't. I liked that she was just, declared insane. I really actually would have wanted more on that. I wanted a little bit. I felt that was kind of sprinkled in there, and I actually didn't know what happened. I'm like, did it lobotomize her? Did she tell everyone what she saw? How did that re-inspire the FazFest craze? What? Also, I wanted more FazFest. What? You have this... I'm gonna rant for a second here. But you have this brilliant opportunity to show off as many real fans as possible. I think this was something that they totally flopped. And they could have totally done better on this. You had the opportunity to show off as many real fans and real fan creations as possible. And you didn't? Unless I'm wrong and that is what happened, but FazFest felt like it could have been something so much bigger than it was. And it just, kind of was a background thing. We get a scene in it. And I'm like, no, I wanted multiple scenes in it. I think that would have been a really interesting place to, to have the main... I'm kind of shocked that Abby didn't go to FazFest. Especially since she loves the animatronics so much. I know she has Toy Chica with her, but why wouldn't she go, hey, Chica, let's go to FazFest? Because that sounds like so much fun. She totally would. why wouldn't Abby go to FazFest? That's like something that's really odd to me, because FazFest is something where you could do so much there, and they just kind of chose not to. I feel like there were a lot of really interesting parts of the movie that would have been so much better if they had just added like another scene in those areas. Like, give me another scene about the aunt. Give me another scene about FazFest. Give me another scene with the withered animatronics. Like, please, please. The movie just felt too short for the amount of stuff that they were trying to pull off. And I get that it's like a PG-13 movie, but like, those can be longer. The movie wasn't even 2 hours. Like, they could have made it longer, and it kind of frustrates me that they didn't. Especially because we have so many scenes with Mike and Vanessa just like that are really slow. I felt the pacing was kind of off for this film. Like, the pacing in the first film was a lot better because it's a lot of the scenes are not a lot of the scenes. The dream sequences are repetitive, but not in a way where you're bored. It's a like, oh, this guy's suffering a lot. And it doesn't feel too slow. There were definitely scenes in this movie where I was like, this is just too slow. I don't know what's happening. But it's too slow. Like, the date with Vanessa and Mike felt like it took forever for no reason. Like, we see him waiting there for a hot minute, like chewing bread, and then it gets swept away, and I'm like, okay, unless that has any like bigger meaning, it doesn't really need to be there. I don't want to be that person that's like, get rid of everything irrelevant. But like, in a film where you had so much cool shit, why did you spend so much time on like insignificant shit? You know what I mean? But that's like, whatever. I needed an explanation for how they got a new house. Because what? Like, Abby and Mike are suddenly living somewhere brand new, and we never get an explanation as to why or how. Like, did they get the money from their lobotomized aunt? Like, what? Like, they just have a new house, and it never gets explained. Especially because we don't know if Mike has a job. Like, we don't get to find out whether or not Mike has a job, whether Vanessa still is a police officer. Like, none of that. Like, a lot of the logistical things were just swept under the rug that really shouldn't have been. Like, I don't know. I feel like I needed a lot more explanation. Okay, speaking of a couple things that I really, really enjoyed, that actually didn't have explanation, that didn't need to have explanation, Charlotte's death. That whole scene was so good. Like, okay. It was so good, but I have issues with it. Charlotte running to the back because she sees a kid following a yellow rabbit. Okay, sure, like, suspicious, but not necessarily, like, bad. Why didn't she grab an employee? Is my question. Like, she goes to all of these random parents, which, like, sure, you should grab an adult, but, like, she didn't try to grab an employee? I feel like she should have tried to grab an employee. Like, that, the fact that she didn't try to go to an employee felt weird to me. The fact that she literally was just going up to these random adults was fascinating. When Vanessa tries to stop her, that was interesting. Cause, like, it's not like Charlie explained to Vanessa what she saw. She's like, I saw this kid's in trouble. Like, yeah, it's suspicious as hell that a animatronic is luring a kid into the back room. But also, it could be fine. It, like, we didn't get enough of an explanation as to why Charlotte, like, knew something was wrong. Cause, like, up until that point, we didn't know if anything bad had happened to those kids. Also, she goes and she picks up the kid, right? Is he dead? Is he unconscious? Because William Afton is washing the blood off that knife. So is the kid dead or not? Because, like, you see him run to his mom, I think, or his mom picks him up or whatever. So, like, why was he wiping the knife off? And why was the kid on the floor? Like, there was, like, none of that scene, that part just didn't make much sense to me. I was like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. And, like, she picks up the kid and is, like, running away. Girl, the fact that she didn't start screaming right that second, someone help, even if she knew he was behind her, like, and the fact that she didn't scream until, like, way after she had been stabbed was super weird to me. And also the fact that he just, like, she didn't react at all when she was stabbed. She was stabbed 3 times, it seemed. Like, that was interesting. In my opinion, that was kind of unrealistic, but I'm not gonna, you suspend disbelief for certain things, but for that scene, I was like, I have to suspend a lot of disbelief for this scene, because I don't believe that she wouldn't have screamed or cried. When you get stabbed 3 times, you make a sound. So, also I'm sorry, but the stab wounds did not look great. But that's whatever. That's semantics. I did really love how when she fell into the ground, the trapdoor opened, and she fell through, and it rises up and the puppet is holding her. That was cinematic mastery. That was beautiful. I was like, oh my god. I almost started tearing up because I could hear in my head, my daughter, I'm sorry nobody lifted you up into their arms the same way you lifted others to yours. I was like, I can hear the monologue right now. And that was such a good entrance to the film. That I really, really liked. There are, like, so many moments in the film that I love, and then there are so many pieces of it that are just not fleshed out enough, in my opinion. Another thing that I really liked that actually didn't need verbal explanation, the animatronics. I like specifically the emulation of how a FNAF 2 night worked. That was beautiful. That was really well done. I thought how the way that they did that scene, even though it was much shorter than I would have liked it, was actually really clever. Because, like, having Mike go, there's no way that's going to work, and then trying it anyway was, like, I liked that. The way you didn't have to explain where the vents were because you just saw them, didn't explain that, like, yeah, there are no doors, like, you won't run out of power, like, all of that was really well done. I just wish it had been longer. I wish that whole scene had been longer. But I did like how it actually felt like a Five Nights at Freddy's 2 night. That was missing from the first movie. We never got any sequence in the first film that actually felt like a night at Five Nights at Freddy's. So, that was really fun and really enjoyable. I also liked, I don't know if I said this already, I really did like the flashback with Vanessa and her and Afton. I thought that was really cool. I liked the family portrait, because you see it and you go, oh shit, there's Michael. Also, Michael Afton. I haven't brought him up until this point, but oh my god, Michael Afton fucking killed it. So good. Loved it. We'll get back to him in a second. Let's put a pin in that. You get to see the little family photo with Michael, Vanessa, William, and their mom, I'm guessing, but she's, like, chasing either Vanessa or Michael. One of them's walking away. It's what a portrait to hang. But the house, the house was really, really interesting. I liked the way that was set up. And the way we see Afton down the long hallway. And the way she turns into a kid when she runs down the hallway and hides behind the door. That was really clever. I liked that a lot. And you see his whole setup, like everything that he's doing. I'm gonna need to rewatch that scene 100 times. And the reveal of the circus baby animatronic. Oh my god, I was squealing in my seat. That was so cool. I really liked that. What threw me off about that scene was that I couldn't tell how much of it was memory and how much of it was her mind. Especially when she was like, I'm not afraid of you. And then, like, she goes to the kitchen and he has a knife. I'm like, did he ever actually brandish a knife at her? Like, did he genuinely threaten her life repeatedly? Like, the whole "you're mine" thing was really, really interesting. And, I love delving into the fact that Vanessa is his favorite child and Michael is the one who is so desperate to fulfill his father's dreams. Oh, I love that dynamic. So good. That's delightful. But when Vanessa is suddenly in her police uniform and she shoots him, I was like, what is happening right now? I genuinely, like, that's where I lost the plot, because I was really confused. I was like, did this ever actually happen? Like, did she shoot him at some point. Like, it was really confusing, and I didn't understand. Maybe I'm missing something, but that really confused and threw me off. Let's see. I really like the way that they did the explanation of the two different restaurants. Because at first, for a while, they were even saying that it was just two restaurants, but then at some point they did say, no, there are multiple restaurants. There's the original, and then there are the many franchise locations. Implying that there's a myriad of animatronics, which I thought was really dope. They did that really well. The explanation that the original had the boat and the toy animatronics, very, very cool. It does have me wondering, though, whether or not we're going to see any of Fredbear's Family Diner, because I know Matthew Lillard signed a contract for 3 years, for 3 movies. So FNAF 1, FNAF 2, and FNAF 3, and the end of this film set up FNAF 3 perfectly. And it has me wondering if we're going to get any movies after that. Because FNAF 4 is really specific and interesting, and that would be a lot... See, I say it'd be a lot harder to make a movie out of. It really wouldn't. It'd be really... it can be kind of simple to make a movie out of. The plot's all right there. That's the first of the games to have a plot written into it. You have a storyline that you follow. So that one I feel like would be easy to write. You literally just follow the game. But tying that into to these two movies, and whatever the third one's going to bring us, will be interesting, especially if we don't have any mention of Fredbear's Family Diner. If that was the original. Because I feel like in the next movie we might get a hint from Henry that, like, yes, we were business partners before the whole Freddy Fazbear's thing. When we were doing Fredbear's Family Diner. Something like that. That'd be interesting. I don't know if they're going to do that, though. But that'd be cool. So I liked the explanation of the two restaurants. I liked the way people died. I thought that was really well done. This film was a lot scarier, but the deaths were also, like, cooler, in my opinion. I wish we could have seen McKenna Grace's character actually die. Like, we see her corpse at some point, and I'm like, oh, boo, whatever. I liked the guy getting taken into the vents by Mangle. Loved that. That was very enjoyable. The guy just getting propellered to death, or not propellered to death, but, like, torn apart by the marionette piranha babies was so funny. That shit was hilarious. And then the teacher's death. The teacher definitely deserved it. Out of anybody, he pissed me off, and that's the whole point. But his death was one of those scenes where I was like, this feels unnecessarily long. Like, this actually... It got less scary the longer the scene went on. Like, Chica was, like, crushing his head between her hands, right? We spent too much time looking at his actual face and his actual head. Like, because it kept panning between her hands, his face, her hands, his face. And I was like, you only needed to do that maybe twice. They did it, like, 3 or 4 times. And it just felt like it kind of took away from the scene. So that was a little frustrating. But otherwise, the deaths were pretty interesting. And I liked the whole line of, I want to see what's going on inside your head. Like, I thought nothing. I was like, oh, she eats that up. She eats that up. That was so fun. What else? I already said I wanted more Fazfest. Ooh, I really liked the centering of Chica. And what I mean by that is Chica was the main animatronic that we focused on. And I was so happy with that. That brought me so much joy. Chica is the animatronic out of the main 4 that almost always gets left out. If an animatronic is getting left out, it's almost always Chica. People are always like... It's hard to meet people whose favorite animatronic is Chica. So I was really excited when they centered it on her. Because for a while, I don't know if it's still true, Five Nights at Freddy's was a predominantly male fan base. And it showed, like, either Chica was sexualized or Chica wasn't there at all. So, having Chica in the way that we did in the film was really, really cool. Having Chica be Abby's favorite was really, really cool. And I really, really like that we got to see that. I like how, like, Chica had the most lines. I wish that Kellingoff and MatPat had more lines, but I like that Chica had the most lines. I thought that was fun. I thought that was very well done. Because when I originally heard that they were going to be voice acted, I was like, they're going to have voices. I don't want to hear their voices. I don't want to hear them talk. How are you going to write this in a way that's not cringe? And actually, it wasn't cringe. So, like, I do give them props for that because I really thought it was going to be way worse than it was, and it wasn't. So, I give them props for that because that was very good. I just love how Chico was the main one. That was so good. We rarely ever get that. So that was really fun. I'm glad Chica was the one that we were focusing on versus Freddy or Bonnie or Foxy. Even though Foxy's my favorite, I like how it was centered on Chica. That was great. I loved the puppet being inside of Toy Chica's chest and being inside of, like, different characters. That was really cool. It really reminds me of, like, the way that the Funtime animatronics in Circus Baby and Glamrock Freddy all have these spaces inside of them to store things, specifically children, but like to store things. And I love the way that you just kind of see Puppet's face peeking out of Toy Chica. I just thought that was so funny. I almost laughed out loud. But also I thought that was really clever. That was very, very cool. I already said I liked Circus Baby. That was dope. Also, like, the animatronic itself looks so cool. I really... Because now I'm like, are we gonna get a sister location themed film? Or is that gonna be, like, pushed into the third movie? Because if we're only getting 3 films, and I hope we aren't only getting 3 films, but I think we might be, then we're gonna miss out on a lot of, like, the fun aspects of the lore, like Pizzeria Sim. I love Pizzeria Sim. Even if we never get a Security Breach film. We probably won't. That'd be really hard to do. But a Pizzeria Simulator film. Oh, please. Please, if we don't get any other films besides FNAF 3, I want a Pizzeria Sim film. Like, sister location, okay, like, I would love one. FNAF 4 would be harder to do in this timeline, but I love it. Pizzeria Simulator. Please. That's all I ask of you. No, okay, it'd be great, but I don't know if we're gonna get it. I loved seeing Springtrap's design. It looks so much like the games. Love it. Springtrap is my favorite animatronic of all time. Big surprise. But I was like, oh, this could go one of 2 ways. And it looks so good. It looked so good. So I'm very excited about that. I already talked about this a little bit. The intro was great. Like, the introduction to the first pizzeria, the introduction to Charlotte and her death and the puppet, that was great. It was a little bit clunky, is what I wrote down. The emotional beats and the pacing were a little bit off, especially for that scene. But it was still really great, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like, that last frame of the puppet holding Charlotte. Oh, my heart. I was like, oh, that was really good. I love that so much. Going back to Michael Afton. Oh, my God. He was such a good addition. Oh, my God, he was a good addition. Because I knew it was going to be Michael Afton as soon as they were like, yeah, we got permission from the security guard, Mike. I was like, no, you got the permission from Michael Afton. And I was like, yes, he looks greasy as hell. Perfect. The one thing that did throw me off a little bit was Michael being pro his father. I was like, oh, interesting. Because if I'm not mistaken, I thought he didn't like his daddy. But, you know, whatever. Maybe that'll change. Maybe he has yet to be scooped by Ennard. Although there is a popular theory going around that he is already Ennard. And I'm like, no, I think they're gonna wait for that. I think that's gonna be in the next movie. But I also love his dynamic with Vanessa. Like, oh my God. I do wish we had seen a little bit of Kid Michael. Like, hanging around, maybe. Mayhaps. But having the dynamic be he still really wants his sister on his side because he wants to fulfill his father's, like, legacy or dream or whatever. But he looks devastated when she says no. But the way he's like, That's fine. That's whatever. It's okay. I don't care. He does care. It's great. But also the fact that he knows that she is the favorite. You know he knows she's the favorite. And that's why he's, like, so insistent on, like, fulfilling his father's, like, whatever. Like, that was just so beautiful. Yeah, I wrote multiple times, I think, love the dream sequence, but holy shit, was it incoherent? Yeah. Yes, that's how I feel. The ending. Oh my god. Oh my god. First of all, Mike comes in with the music box to defeat the puppet. I'm like, yes, yes. As soon as the puppet's gone, he turns it off. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? What are you doing? That pissed me off. I loved all the animatronics coming to save them. I thought, yes, it was cringy, but yes, it was also really beautiful and cute. I loved it. I got to watch Foxy curb stomp Toy Bonnie. That shit was hilarious. That's way worth more than any cringe. That was beautiful. I'm gonna laugh. Like, are you going to heaven? We're going to heaven. That, I was cracking up. Because I was like, oh, that's right, Scott's really Christian. I forgot about that. Some people apparently were really upset about that. I'm like, guys, how can you be surprised? Like, what? I just thought it was funny. Because it just doesn't fit naturally into the dialogue at all. I don't know anybody who says, are they going to heaven? Like, that. People don't really talk like that. Like, they could have said it in a different way and we would have gotten the same emotional hits. But he wanted to make it very clear, which I think is really funny. The ending pissed me off, and let me tell you why. Mike saying, stay away from my family. Mike, when I fucking catch you, you dumb fuck. Literally everything that went wrong in this film is his fault. Literally all of it. Like, you cannot tell me that man didn't fuck up at every opportunity. Like, okay, the one thing he did correctly, bringing the music box and turning off the signal. That's it. Every other time, Vanessa was like, hey, I think Abby went somewhere. He's like, ugh, whatever, I'm not gonna listen to you. It's not like this has happened before. She has a history of running away, Michael. Seriously, are you shitting me? The fact that Abby has a history of running away and he goes, nah. She literally ran away the night before. What are you fucking talking about? Hello? And the fact that he leaves Abby to fend for herself at the science fair. Total bullshit. Like, what the fuck was that? And then when he was like, I just want to fix my family. And Vanessa's like, are you serious? You think you can just fix me? And the way he was like, you should try the dream thing that I did. It really helped. No, it almost ruined your life, you idiot. Anyway, what I was saying was... I don't remember what I was saying, actually. Oh, the whole stay away from my family. Dude, she literally just told her brother to fuck off because she would rather protect you and Abby than protect the little family she has left. And you just tell her to fuck off? Are you serious right now? Like, yeah, she has a lot of secrets. Her dad was a serial killer. I think she's entitled to have a little privacy. And how the fuck was she supposed to know that that there being an original pizzeria was going to be relevant? Her childhood best friend who also got murdered, was she supposed to know that was going to be relevant? That was years ago. Like, what? How was she supposed to know that Abby was gonna go there? And then when she does try to bring it up, Mike shuts her down and then acts like it's her fault. Don't piss me off. So, to wrap up, I had a great time watching the movie. I had a great time. I thought there was a lot of really awesome parts of it. I thought it was great for fans. Probably incoherent to anybody who hasn't played the games or, I guess, read the books. I haven't read the books. But I played the games and watched people play the games. But otherwise, you would be kind of fucked. You would kind of not know what's happening. Which is fine. I don't care about that. But I do care about the kind of inconsistency in the film. There were some really great parts. There were also some parts that were just really not great. And the fact that there were so many of those, as well as so many parts, like, the movie was equal parts great and not great. Which is, like, not ideal. But they did take a lot of the advice from the first film and implement it. A lot of that was great. Some of that was not great. But again, it's whatever. So, I had a great time watching Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I am going to buy it on DVD. I'm going to buy it on streaming. I'm going to make all of my friends watch it. And I'm going to watch it again and again and again. But was it a masterpiece? No. Was it super enjoyable? Yeah. Did it do what I think it was trying to do? Yeah. And that's really all you can do at the end of the day. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you let me know what your opinions on the FNAF 2 movie were, whether or not you agree with me, disagree with me, things that you think I should have talked about and didn't. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!